Hi, I'm Arati. Today I am packing for a really quick trip over to Berlin in Germany. I'm flying, so my kit needs to be hand luggage friendly and really minimal and light because I'm only going for 2 nights. In this video, I'm going to show you the kit that I've been using every day, what I normally take on trips, and then finally what I'm going to take with me to Germany. And hopefully I will have time to do some drawing there, and I will show you what I made at the end of this video. Let's start with what I've been using lately. I have been using a really minimal kit because I haven't had a lot of time to draw, especially when I'm going out and about and carrying things with me. I need it to be really light. So I've been using this Fude pen, which has a bent nib, and it is filled with waterproof ink. In addition, I've also got a water brush filled with water-soluble ink, couple of water brushes, a water brush and a spray bottle. This is a teeny tiny spray bottle. Liquitex and Caran markers, both of which have liquid ink in them, so not particularly flight friendly. This is an old makeup brush stick thing, which I use to just blend. A sharpener, really don't know whether this can be taken on a flight. My pencil, which will be fine. Oopsies, dropped all those there. And a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist's pen. This should be fine for the flight. Now, this is the normal kit that you're used to seeing me take, that I took to the Lake District back in May. It holds quite a lot, but it's very excessive for just 2 nights. And I know that one of those days I'll be out and about walking around, I will not have time to sketch. So let me just pick a few things out of this that I think I'm going to take. One of them is this. This is just a thinner version of this blending stick. The brand is Zubit, but I just got them randomly. I don't think this is, I think you can just get them from any makeup brand. So let's put that out. Then I want to get a red and a yellow. I'll explain why in a minute. Don't need those. And then, oh yes, I need my Lumos pen. So let's put that away and I will show you my travel kits. I have a couple of different ones. This one is the biggest. And then I have this one from Angu. It's much smaller. You can see it's half the size. It does fit Tombow pens in it. And it has a zip pocket here, some spaces for elastic for pencils, a little pocket there. And then this part expands, so you can actually zip this part up and have it be much narrower. However, this is also too big because I'm literally carrying a small suitcase and my handbag. This also has a little pocket here in which I've got just some tissue. So this is also too big. It carries way too much, more than I need. I also have this random box that came with something. Again, way too big and not very secure, so this really comes off whenever it wants. The couple of things that I could use are these Derwent pencil cases. However, the problem with those is that I want to take this Pitt Artist's pen, and that does not fit in this. Otherwise, this would have been ideal. It's really compact and it would have fit everything. It also does fit Tombow pens in there. So I could have fit, if I wasn't taking that, I could have fit everything in there very easily. So that's what we're not taking. What I am taking is this. This is the Derwent pencil wrap. It's literally teeny tiny and it folds up like that. It's canvas. I'm not sure if it's waterproof. So there's a little bit of Velcro here. Opens up like that. There's a little flap there. And there's 2 pockets here in which I already have a small packet, which I generally use for sharpening bits, but I've just kept it just in case something leaks and I need to pop it into a plastic. So I've got this, and let's pop what I'm taking into it. First off, I'm taking my Lumos pen. This is one of the most versatile pens I own, and I'm taking it in place of the Fude pen and this water brush filled with ink. Both of these have liquids inside, so I don't know how they'll do on the flight, and I also don't want them to leak all over my bag. So this one has, I've popped a 0.5 nib in this side, and if I unscrew it, you can see why I'm taking this, because it has a cartridge that you can fill with ink. It's not a cartridge exactly, it kind of absorbs the ink into this cotton or fabric bit, so it's not going to leak in my bag. I think it has leaked once, but that was literally because I overfilled it. That was not the fault of the pen. So on that side, I've got a 0.5 nib. And on this side, I have a brush nib. So it's really 2 pens in one. And that is going to neatly fit in there. Then I'm going to take my blender tool, just in case I want to squish anything around. I'm going to take my mechanical pencil. This is my all-time favorite one. It's from Faber-Castell, 0.7. And it has a few extras in there as well. So that's that. Then I want a little bit of color. I've been to Germany, to Berlin before, and a lot of the buildings are very monumental, very large, very solid, very square. There's not a lot of color there. I know that the predominant color is beigey kind of color, and some pops of red, some pops of pink. So I'm going to take these two and see how they do. And then I'm going to take this Faber-Castell Pitt Artist's pen in white, just so that I can knock back some of the colors and blend it with these two in order to get a few different shades. And that's it. That is all I am taking. It is a super light kit. I'm just going to fold it over like that. Pop it closed like so, and then there's one more thing that I'm going to add, which is a clip, but I will pop that on to my sketchbook. Coming on to sketchbooks, let's see which ones I'm taking. So there's my art kit. Let me just open it out so you can see there what I'm taking. I have a couple of options. So these are my regular sketchbooks. This is the Nina Cosford sketchbook, in which I've been drawing for a while. And then this one you've seen before. This is my Royal Talens sketchbook. Both of these are large and heavy and not very unobtrusive when you're trying to sit in an airport or in a public space and trying to draw. So I'm going to take a really teeny tiny one. For that, I have 3 options. I've already decided, but I'm going to show you the options anyway. These are both sketchbooks, all 3 actually, are sketchbooks that I've been trying to finish for quite a while. This one I started in 2015, and I have finished quite a few pages. I had originally started it for patterns, which is what I've been doing in it. But then some pages that I wasn't happy with, I kind of painted over. And then these pages are still remaining to complete. So, ooh, I really like that one actually. So pages like this and this and this are waiting to be drawn on. However, there aren't that many of them, and there aren't any blank pages in this, so that's a no. The second sketchbook is this one, started in 2013. I think I just got it from, I forgot to mention that's a Moleskine one. And this one I just got from Tiger Stores, which is like a Scandinavian fun store with all sorts of stuff in it. And I have mostly filled it. And again, this one has been ruled out because there aren't that many pages left in it. In fact, I've marked them with these little tabs where I actually do have space to draw. Again, I've like filled them with color. Yeah, there are very few pages in this. So again, that got ruled out. I could probably finish it at home. So what I'm taking is this sketchbook that I have had since 2006 or 7, I think. It is in bad shape. Yeah, it says 2007. It is in bad shape, and I have also at some point ripped out some pages here. I'm not quite sure what I used that for and why I ripped them out. But I am going to take this because I've just popped, so these are the clips I was talking about. I just popped them in there so I don't lose them. It has a bunch of empty pages, and it has this nice Conqueror sort of laid paper in it. It's not hugely useful for paint, but it's very nice for pen and for pencil. As you can see, I've done a bunch of drawings. I think this was when we were in Spain. And I've also prepped a few pages with some paint in here. And I've finished some pages. And I was drawing in here, and wherever I go out, this is a convenient size to take with me. It fits in my bag. It's not super heavy, and it has a hard back, so it's easy to spread out flat and just draw in it. So that's the sketchbook that I am taking with me. So it's literally this and that. Let's fold that up, and you can see exactly how minimal my kit is. This will literally fit in any bag, and I can put them both separately if I want to in separate spaces. This is super flat. And actually, if I probably take these out, it'll be even flatter, and I can just pop them on here so that this does not spring open at any point. I can also just spread this out open like so, clip that on there so that nothing pops out, and then it's a lighter profile, it's a thinner profile that way. So let's go to Berlin. If I can, I will film some stuff there, and then we'll come back and take a look at what I drew. The first thing I saw when entering my hotel room was this stunning view of Berlin's Gendarmen Market. It was a bit under construction, but the part that I could see was absolutely beautiful. There was also a very convenient windowsill on which I could place my art bits. So that's exactly what I did. I had had a bit of a rest and a shower, and I was almost ready to go, but I was a little bit early. So I decided to pick a nice page with a bit of greenery on it and started off. The first thing I did was define the trees with my Lumos pen brush tip, just adding a few little details so that that mass of blue-green started to look like foliage. I decided to start adding the building next so that I could then define the foliage according to how I created that part of it. I went quite slowly. I've speeded it up here for you and decided to do an impression rather than an exact copy of the dimensions. I also used some squiggles for the sculptures. I wasn't really drawing it in detail. I just wanted to get an impression of the first view that I saw when entering my room. One of the reasons I really like the Lumos pen brush tip is that it gives me a variety of thicknesses for my line, and I can also fill in spaces really, really quickly. It's a very juicy nib, and I think that also depends on the ink that you fill it with. At this point, I decided to add some color because the greenery of the trees did go into the building, and the red roof was one of the things that attracted me to this. This is, of course, the wrong shade of red, but it's enough to give an impression. And I added some ochre over the top and then onto the dome part of the building, as well as some white to knock back the little bit of green in the front of the building. Now that the building was more or less done, I could define the trees a little bit more in order to give it a little bit more animation, a little bit more fluidity, and kind of make it more organic in comparison to the hard lines of the building. I used both the 0.5 nib and the brush nib on the Lumos pen to achieve this, and also some squiggles in white just to give it a little bit more dimension. I felt that the ochre was too yellow on the building, so I also decided to add it there in order to knock that back, and it's done. I am really quite pleased with the way this came out. It really gives the impression of how I felt when I saw that building. So, I did not have a whole lot of time in Berlin. I did a little bit of drawing in the airports, on the way there and on the way back. A little bit of drawing on the first evening when I had a little time to kill before my friend's exhibition, and then nothing at all the following day because we were out and about, and by the time evening came, I was super tired. But let's take a look at what I did draw. Nothing is in order because I would just randomly open, randomly open a page and see what was there and just draw on that. I think there was only one time when I picked a page that was appropriate to the color of whatever I was drawing. So let's have a look at what I drew, hopefully in the order, if I remember it, that I drew them. The first one was at the airport, this one, at the actual gate that I was waiting for my flight at. These were not all standing together. I tend to compose sketches as I see them and then blend them into one page. So all of these people were separate, and this guy I really found interesting because he had a scooter with his suitcase mounted on it, and he was just scooting around the entire airport. Perfectly able-bodied man, but he had a scooter with a suitcase on it, and I thought that was hilarious. The prepared pages worked really well here because I managed to use that for the floor and then the base of the window so that it looks like it's blending off into plain glass there. I added some Tombow for texture and for pattern, and basically kept it really, really simple. All of the black is the Lumos pen brush tip. If you're wondering what the Tombow pens I took are, one is 026 and the other one is 856. This next page I did at both airports, on the way there and on the way back, and I have one half finished thing where they called for boarding and I had to get up. I can't remember which ones I did at which airport, but they're just little quick figure studies of people that I saw either sitting around or standing around there. I didn't have that much time to sketch because I was also like looking for the gate and walking around and shopping for my niece on the way back as well. But these little figure studies are just really fun to do, and I used the 0.5 nib on the back of the Lumos for these. While I was in Berlin, I literally only sketched on the first day there. And I started off with this piece, which is the view from my room. I already had the prepared background, so it fit in great with the trees. I wasn't aiming for accuracy, I was just aiming for the feel of it. And I was looking out at the Berlin Gendarmen Market. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. and I was fascinated by the red roof. Well, it was tiles, it wasn't exactly this red, but meh, just the impression of it. And I used all my tools for this. I used these three things, then I used my pit marker, and I used this to blend a little bit the white areas so that I could knock back the color. And I also used the white on top of the ochre here in order to beat it back a little bit. After this, when I walked down to my friend's exhibition, I had a little bit of time to kill. So I stopped in Babelplatz, which is apparently, it's a square with a memorial to book burning. And there's like a little glass section in the middle where you can see shelves and things like that. And that was a good place to stop and do some sketching. So there I drew the Staatsoper. In fact, on the next day, we actually went to go and see Tosca, the opera at the Staatsoper, conducted by the great Zubin Mehta, which was absolutely amazing. So the pink of this page really worked out well because the Staatsoper is pinkish. Again, just an impression of the place. And like I said, Berlin things are very they have stature, they have solidness. They're very large and impressive buildings. Opposite this was Humboldt University. I didn't really have time to draw that, but I did do the St. Hedwig Church, which was to the right over here, to the right of the Staatsoper. There was a bit of construction here. They were building a stage or something like that, but I just kind of ignored that part and just drew the church, which had this beautiful blue dome. Again, the colors on this page kind of worked out well for it, and I added some of the Tombow pen here in order to reduce some of the greenishness of this area. But that's it. That's all I really drew because like I said, I didn't have time the next couple of days. On the following day, we actually went to an art shop in Berlin, which will actually be the next video that I show you. Here's a little sneak peek of some things that I got, and I will show you in more detail in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. Please do tell me if you've been traveling anywhere, if you've been to Berlin, and if you enjoyed it, please tell me any recommendations. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!